court has listened very carefully to the remarks of the defendant as well as the assistant state attorney. The court also listened very carefully to, this is the fifth week, 4 weeks plus a day or two of testimony. The court listened to 34 witnesses that the state presented, listened to 41 tapes plus several other witnesses the defendant presented, listened to 5 rebuttal witnesses of the state and 1 rebuttal witness of the defendant. The court listened, and also the jury listened. You indicated in your remarks to me, which I'm not going to respond to each one, that justice was not done. I totally disagree with you. If anything, justice was done. I made sure that justice was done. I extended to you every courtesy this court could possibly extend to a defendant, beyond, if you will, every courtesy I could extend. You're innocent until proven guilty, and this presumption stayed with you until the jury came back with their verdict. They were not out 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It took them 1 day and a half of another day. They must have had some concern. If they wanted to, as you say, go ahead and convict you, they would have come back in an hour with a conviction. It would have been very simple. They didn't. They must have given it time. They must have considered every single count. So for you to stand in front of me and tell me it was a miscarriage of justice, no, sir. There was not a miscarriage of justice. They did what they thought was right. And in this courtroom, I've seen many people found not guilty, and the jury felt that way. The jury here, and for reasons best known to them, and no one can go in that room when they go in there. I don't have the slightest idea what they said or did not say, but they spent the time in there going over the evidence and exhibits in this case, and it's their decision that found you guilty. You talk about the media. Yes, the media covered this story, but you also gave several press conferences. So how you can stand in front of me and I'm not here defending the media. Believe me, I'm not. Get that straight right now. But how you can stand in front of me and talk about the media when I gave you every right, in fact, as far as yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, you gave a press conference. I didn't haul you back to jail as I could have done. If you wanted to talk, I'll let you talk. And other days as well, you gave conferences to the press. That was your choice. And now you stand in front of me and you talk about the media? Again, how they cover this trial or how they have not covered this trial, that's their business. I don't tell them how to run their business, and thank goodness they don't tell me how to run my court. And I'm not defending them. I'm just telling you what you yourself have done during this trial. So certainly, if anything, you had a fair trial. As far as your concerns about the nation, this judge is concerned about one thing, what happens in his courtroom, and nothing else. And it's my sworn obligation to make certain that every defendant in this courtroom gets a fair trial. And I see to that. Sometime I have to catch blame for things that I do because I think they're right, because I think it's what we call due process of law. And I will continue to do what I think is right to make certain a defendant gets a fair trial, whether it's you or anybody else. So understand that. Yes, I think you had a fair trial. I'm not going to go through what you're charged with. You know what you're charged with. Mr. Hogan indicated that. I'm not going to go through each and every count. I listened to the testimony very, very carefully. And I made notes during the testimony. And I heard the children testify. And I heard the doctors testify. And I heard your witnesses testify. And I heard you say over and over again that everybody lied. Everybody. And only one person told the truth. You. Well, obviously the jury in their wisdom saw the matter entirely different. And they reached their decision based on what they heard as well as what I heard. What's going to happen to you in the future? I don't know. I don't know. All I can do at this point in time is pass sentence for the crimes of which you have been convicted. You know, we seem to forget, and Mr. Hogan alluded to it, that there are victims in this case. And very often, the victims' rights are forgotten. Well, I don't know what's going to happen to these children. I don't have the slightest idea. I'm not a professional. I couldn't tell you. I hope the scars of what did happen will disappear or heal up. I don't know that. All I know is I can pass sentence on you for the crimes of which you have been committed. And you seem to forget that there was a manslaughter of which you pled guilty back in 1969, that there was a case where you went to trial in 1982 where you were convicted. These are matters of record. If you can play light on them, you could forget them. I'm aware of them. I'm also aware of the fact that I found you guilty of probation violation and sentenced you at that time because you did shock the conscience of the court at that time. And I'm ready at this time to pass sentence, and will so do. In case number 84-19728, as to count 1, which is a sexual battery, sentence of this court that you be sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum maximum sentence of 25 years. Count 3, likewise, which is a sexual battery, sentence of this court, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum maximum sentence of 25 years to run consecutively to the term or the sentence in count 1. Count 11, which likewise is a sexual battery, the court sentenced you to life imprisonment with a minimum mandatory of 25 years to run consecutively to the sentence in counts 1 and count 3. As to count 12, the court sentenced you to life imprisonment with a minimum maximum of 25 years to run consecutively to the sentence in counts 11, 3, and 1. As to count 13, which is a sexual battery, the court sentenced you to a life imprisonment with a minimum maximum sentence of 25 years to run consecutively to the other counts indicated by the court. And to count 17, the court likewise sentenced you to life imprisonment with a minimum maximum of 25 years to run consecutively to the other counts. As to the lewd assault acts, which I believe are 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, in each of those counts, the court will sentence you to 15 years to run concurrently with the sentence previously given by this court. As to aggravated assault, which I believe is 5 years, the court likewise will sentence you to 5 years to run concurrently with the sentences previously given to this court, and all of the sentences will run consecutively to the 15 years I gave you at an earlier time on an earlier case. This matter, is anything further to come before this court?
No, sir.
If not, the court will be in recess until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Oh, yeah, and for the appeal, Mr. Samick, for the appeal, I will appoint the public defender to represent the defendant, assuming that he will be in the Yes. Will you please stay where you are until the jury leaves the courtroom? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You can leave now. Everyone will stay seated so you won't. Thank you so much.